Hey everybody, and welcome back to the next part in my dialing in series for our Line 6 Helix. New guitar yesterday. Good reason for it. For everybody who's made fun of me for never owning a Telly in the past, that's come up a couple times before. I picked up this. This is just a Fender Mexican Telly, which I was really blown away with. Really incredible price on it. And so I just wanted to have one in my arsenal. I've had a lot of requests lately and in the past to do a country tone, and I've always been avoiding it because I didn't have a Telly, and every time I would say that, somebody would ridicule me, and rightfully so. I should have owned a Telly. So anyways, I do have one now. This thing sounds really good, but what I wanted to do, another request I had along with just sort of a generic country tone, was a lot of people had asked me to do something like a Brad Paisley-ish style tone. So I thought, man, that would be a lot of fun. So I kind of dove into a couple of his recordings, and I came across, I'm a big fan of his actually. I love his playing. He's such an amazing country player and always such a killer tone. Really known for using the Dr. Z amps, which I used to actually play quite a bit. I used to have a couple of those, and they're great, great, great amps. I took a listen through a few of his songs, and I came across a song from his Fifth Gear album called All I Wanted Was a Car, which has a really cool kind of riff at the beginning. And I kind of modeled this kind of after that, but also in a way to kind of be able to handle other solos. Now, the problem was I was going to go learn that solo, and then as I was listening to it, I realized, man, he's using a G-bender on that with his Telly, and as I started kind of transcribing the solo, I went, man, this is going to be really tough to nail down without a G-bender. So I went to kind of through a few other tunes, and I came across one of his big hit songs, Water, which had a cool solo, which I also think uses a G-bender, but he didn't seem to use it as much. I was able to kind of finagle the bends out of just with my fingers rather than having to use a G-bender. So I did a performance video. It's up on my YouTube channel right when I put this up, and it is me performing with this tone, which is called Paisley'ish. His first solo for Water, which I learned really fast this morning. Forgive me, I'm not much of a country player, but boy, is it fun to mess around with those licks. Such cool stuff. So yeah, take a listen to that. What you're hearing is this preset untouched in the mix over a backing track that I found, a really good backing track online, actually. So anyways, you can go listen to that. Please go check it out, and you can hear how this preset sounds. So let's take a look at the preset, okay? So let's dive over to HX Edit. Obviously, what I went with was the Interstate Z amp, right? Which is a Dr. Z, is it the Maz? You know what? I'm not even sure. I should have checked that before. I think it's a Maz. Correct me if I'm wrong. But anyways, one of the Dr. Z amps, I thought I'm going to go with that. Or is it a Route 66 maybe? Yeah, maybe it's a Route 66. Anyways, whatever, not important. I went with that because I figured, well, that's what Brad's known for playing. I don't know if that's a particular model he uses. I know he's used a bunch of different ones in the past. So I just went with that with the stock cab that comes up, but I did go with the ribbon mic, 160 ribbon, 5.5 inches back with the 212 Interstate. Start at the end again. My normal settings that I always use on my peak reduction, or my LA Studio comp at the end. Peak reduction at 5.5, gain at 5, mix at 100%. I left that alone. The EQ is just there for low and high cut, just part of my template. 100 hertz low cut, 12 kilohertz high cut. Didn't touch anything else in there. The verb, I went with a room verb, 4.5 decay, pre-delay of 11 milliseconds, mix at 37%. Now the delay, I almost wanted a bit of a kind of a slap-backy sort of a thing, right? So the song Water was at 100 beats per minute. So I set that at 100. I don't know why it says 101 here, but 100 or 100.1. Note sync was at eighth notes, feedback at 0, mix at 20%. And I found that gave the nice little kind of slappy delay that Brad uses on a lot of his tones. You know, you can turn that on or off if you don't want that, right? Depending on what you're doing with it. The riff that I was listening to, the All I Wanted Was a Car one, had a pretty heavy kind of a slappy delay thing going on. Kind of in time with the song. It was kind of interesting, but really a big part of the tone. And I just used that also on the solo on Water, and it cut really nice in the mix. Sounded really good. You don't notice it as much in the mix, more just when you're playing solo. So like I said, I already went through the cab. Settings on the Interstate Z, drive at 7, because you know what? Brad doesn't play super clean all the time. There's always a bit of a bite and grit to a lot of his tones, you know. We tend to think of them as these spanky clean country tones, and they don't. They have some nice bite to them. I really like that about it. Bass at 6.5. 6.9, mid at 3.5, treble at 5.9, presence at 5.3, channel volume at 8.6, master at 10, deeper controls I did not touch. But what I did do is I doubled up on the compression. Because it's country, you know, you're gonna get a lot of compression coming into the amp a lot of times, especially with these telly tones, right? So I set the threshold around minus 37.1, ratioed 4:1, attack at 10 milliseconds, release at 100 milliseconds, mix at 100%, and that gave me kind of what I wanted. I was happy with that. Just left the level and the knee alone where it was. So here's what that sounded like with all those settings. Sorry for the awful country playing, pseudo country playing. I'm not a country player. So anyways, yeah, I thought that sounded pretty cool. That main riff sounded really good. That's on the bridge pickup on the neck. And the middle position. And back to bridge. So that's it. Pretty simple patch. It didn't take me long to dial it in. That's a really great amp model, the Interstate Z. I've used that for a bunch of things before. I've almost even used it with semi-hollow body before for almost like a Dumbly boutique type tone. It does that really nice too. But pretty simple, one snapshot, because it's kind of the tone he's using throughout. He usually kind of sticks seams with one tone, right? Rhythm, lead, everything's just all one and it just kills. So I hope you guys like that, and I hope this is becomes a popular tone. I think it would be nice for those who want something in that Paisley-ish vein. Again, disclaimer, I'm not saying it's exactly like it, but I think it would do a good job. And again, go listen to the performance video I did. Let me know what you think. Go easy on me on the plan. The country thing, like I said, is not my my usual bag that I go after, but lots of fun to do, and I learned it really fast this morning, so again, go easy. So anyways, this will be up on Custom Tone. Thanks so much for tuning in. Please like the video and share it if you don't mind. Subscribe to my channel if you haven't already, and I'll be back soon with some more content. Thanks again for tuning in, guys. Ciao for now.